Guys, do you lose interest in a girl if you have sex on the first date? It has happened to me several times over the years that guys lose interest on getting to know me if we have sex on the first date. I've been, at most, offered friends with benefits because they, quote, don't see me as girlfriend material. If it's in the air, I like to let things flow to that point. I'm very passionate and I enjoy sex a lot. For me, the best type of sex would be in a relationship though, so I do meet people with intentions of getting to know them. I find it interesting that having sex soon would, quote, not make me girlfriend material. I don't base my boyfriend material criteria on if a guy has sex with me, but in overall compatibility, how he treats me and others, and his overall character.
So we're going to talk about box theory.
We're talking about it.
Okay, so just a little refresher for anybody who doesn't know. Box theory is my theory that when men meet you, they put you into one of three boxes. Number one, they want to date you. Number two, they want to hook up with you. And number three, they want nothing to do with you. So number three is very simple. If you're in that box, move on. Where people get confused is the date and the hookup box. Now, in my experience, watching my friends date for the past decade plus, myself dating in multiple cities for the past decade plus, guys decide pretty quickly whether you fall in the date box or the hookup box. And there's not a ton that you can do to alter what they think of you. And some people say to me like, oh, Tinx, that puts all the power in the guy's hand. And I usually say, well, no, because all it means is you should be empowered to do what you want. Like, I don't believe in the whole manipulation of like, oh, wait 3 dates and then you'll capture his soul. Or like, oh, like if you talk about this on the first date, he'll imagine you as a wife. Like, I don't believe in that. I think you should be yourself and sleep with people when you want to sleep with people. And just kind of, when you meet the right person, it'll be right. And he'll want to date you. Like, I always give the example of in high school, I got super wasted and I puked all over this guy's shoes the night that I met him. I was a mess. I was like, not on my best behavior whatsoever. And still the next day he was like, so can I take you out? Like, I'd love to, can I take you to dinner?
I love that.
And I've got millions of messages about like, oh yeah, like, I did the same thing. And, really cute stories of people being like, I like barfed on my husband the first time I met him. Or like, I'm married to a one night stand, what I thought was going to be a one night stand, whatever.
Yeah.
Are there exceptions to the rule? 100%. And
Always.
I think a lot of guys listen to this rule and they think, oh, we're not that simple. Like, that's bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But I tend to think that they kind of know what they feel about a girl.
Yep.
In the case of this person writing in, I would probably ask her to look at the type of guys that she's going on dates with. If she's maybe repeating a pattern there, I don't think it's as simple as, oh, she's sleeping with them on the first date, so they don't want to be with her, to be honest with you.
No.
I think that it's more just maybe she's going for the same guy over and over again, and it's just like, I have plenty of friends. I can think of off the top of my head 5 friends who slept with their current boyfriends on their first dates.
I love that.
I just don't think that that's it. So, think about the type of guy. Think about how you're meeting them. Think about, obviously there's exceptions to the rule. Like if you meet them and in 15 minutes you're like, all right, let's go back to my place. Then yeah, probably that is like a dead giveaway. But but if you're like going on a really great, like I need more information. Like, is she going on a really great date with them?
Yeah.
Like they're vibing, everything's great. And then they go back to hers and they have amazing sex. And it's like, to me, it's just, there's more. It's other
Definitely.
stuff, So yeah, you just haven't met the right guy yet.
Where were you 5 years ago when all I was dating was hockey players and shooting myself in the foot? Because I've been dating my boyfriend now for 3 years. And he told me, I don't know, it was probably a year or 2 years in, but he told me after our first date, he got in the car with his friend and he told him, like, you better print the wedding invites.
Yeah.
And that was after the first date.
Yeah. See, that's why I really I believe in my own theory now. But I have so many of my guy friends will call me after the first day and be like, I'm obsessed with her. I want to date her.
Yeah.
And it's more like the theory is more to empower girls or women or whatever. Like because sometimes it's so clear that you're in the hookup box
Yeah.
and you're just crawling and girls
You're
are writing in and
trying.
they're like, well, he responds to me every other week. And like we hooked up on Saturday and then he texted me on Tuesday. And I'm like, he doesn't want to date you.
No.
If he wants to date you, he'll date you.
He would be putting in a lot more effort.
They're clear. They're very, they're very like, that's what they're biologically designed to do. They want someone, they go get it. You'll know when you're in the date box. So
Yeah.
many guys say, the first time I met my girlfriend, I knew I was going to date her. The first time I met my wife, I knew I was going to marry her. Like so many things like that.
I know.
So it's just like, it just makes me sad that girls waste so much time on guys who have clearly put them in the hookup box.
That. I think the time
Yeah.
wasting. Because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you don't want to have sex on the first date. You want to cultivate a relationship with them. Sure. Give it like a couple weeks,
Yeah.
couple months. But at that point, you got to test the waters and see if it
Yeah.
even works like sexually, compatibility wise. And then if he's just waiting to get you out of his system, then you wasted all that time.
All that time, 100%. It's like, I don't think that there's ever been an instance where a guy has met a girl and is like, oh, like, she's in the hookup box. And then the girl waited 4 months to sleep with him. And he was like, well, since she waited 4 months, I guess I'll date her.
Moving her boxes now.
Like, no, what? Like, that's no. And in the meantime, in the 4 months, what usually happens is a girl will think, oh, like, I'm going to prove that I'm like, I'm holding out. I'm going to wait for 4 or 5 months. We're going to go on a couple dates. We're going to go, I'm going to make him work for it. And then they do it. And then he's
gone.
He ghosts her.
He's gone.
And then you waited 5 months, like planning your imaginary wedding in Napa to this fucking fool.
Oh.
And it's just like, moral of the story is literally sleep with a guy when you feel good and ready, when you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And if he wants to date you, trust me, you'll know. And if you're confused, then it's a no.
Yeah. Oh my God, I look back and I'm just like, the shit I fucking did. I was so obsessed with this one guy. And he didn't even play in the NHL. He was in the AHL. Like, what was I doing?
Yeah.
And I would drive. I was living in LA. And I would drive up to like San Fran.
Oh, yeah.
And San Diego. And like stay in his hotel rooms with him. And it was like, I didn't have sex with him for, I think it took like 2 years of knowing him.
Yeah.
And then we had sex and it was like, it didn't change anything. And I was like,
yeah. It's exhausting. And you know
Why?
what? It's just like, it's so clear to look back. And I'm sure now that you're in like a happy relationship, now you have such clarity. You look back and it's like, dude, when you met your boyfriend, I'm sure it was just like, it worked. It's just easy. It's not, there's no mind games. There's no drafting texts in the notes app of your phone. They just want to date you and you want to date them. And I just wish my whole thing with Box Series, like time saving, because I spent a lot, this is not coming from a high and mighty place. I spent literally most of my 20s being like, well, maybe if I just do this, or maybe if I put this on my story, that will make him think that I'm this and that and that. And it's like, enough with the gymnastics. It
doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
No.
And nor should it.
No, it shouldn't be so hard.
No.
Like, yeah, you're always going to have to like go through conflict and learn how to work with each
For
other.
sure.
But it shouldn't be that hard.
No.
Okay. I love that theory. It's so good. When's the book coming out?